Hello there, and as usual, I'm Aaron from Let's 10 Gamers, and welcome. So last week on Friday, I was setting up a bit of a challenge. I found a little bit of a bug with the stones, where if you hit it into a ship, it causes no damage to the ship behind it. So then I see you guys the challenge of somehow using that sort of glitch to get either a drone inside or a number of space engineers to assault that enemy vessel. So I'm going to go through you some of the designs that I've been working on, and then we'll evolve it to the final stage, where I'll show you a two-stage warhead that designs these micro nanite type machines to go inside and mine or grind the ship down from inside out. So fingers crossed it works. So my first stage in the development process for this was to think of some sort of grinding ship. Now, to think about this, I wanted it really small and compact. Now, the main reason for this is when it gets inside, it needs to be able to get through vents, small doorways, small areas, and just be a bugger to really get rid of. So this was the initial design. Now, the initial problem with the design is it was very clear where the grinder was, and because of that, it could get shot off. We are using a modification. We are using the hover bike modification. So in the second module, I attached this little landing gear to the front, and in the side, I have chucked the grinders away. So when this clamps onto an object, it holds the whole system extremely steady, while the two grinders this time make short work of any armor or internals of the ship. So then I continue to evolve it. You can see we've actually got a gravity block on the top here. This is an artificial gravity. So when I propel this, it actually continues along one said path. Now, I had the great idea, what would be really cool is be able to set these guys to recall on a particular route. Say, for instance, I have my ship here, the enemy ship's over there. I recall the drone, it heads to my ship, and then enters a grinding pit of its own, and gets ground down, ready to be reused. And on the same thing, it would mean it would grind its way out the enemy ship to come and find my ship. But there's a lot of issues with that. I was trying to experiment around with that, and I ended up grinding down my own ship a lot. So then we move on to the first sort of alliteration. You can see it's the standard sort of drop pod from before, but shortened, and the actual pod is inside. And then I realized all this is a little bit too much for a small little droid like that. We need to deploy maybe 4 or 5, and we need to make it into some sort of sticky bomb. So then I evolved into this configuration. So here we have 2 on each side in all directions, and basically when this thing clamps onto an enemy ship, it works just like a sticky grenade, and it can't get off until the timers are set up. Now let's go to the final sort of alliteration of this. And here it is. So I've taken both the front and the back of the drop pod to add some protection for the weapon system. So if I turn my light on here, you can see what we've done. We've cut the blocks out in the middle because the blocks are actually connecting these together and causing some more connection issues. And then on the front, we've extended this arm, and I've measured the exact amount of blocks. So this thing, when the rock hits, it actually works as a joint and folds this thing over like a sticky bomb. So before we use the second version, that will first blow a hole, and then these droids will go off inside, I'm going to show you the sticky bomb version. So the sticky bomb version works like this. We switch the lock, and then we activate it. So once we've activated, it flies towards the target rapidly, hits, and sticks to the target. Now once it's stuck to the target, it activates itself a sensor block, well, a timer block, and you can see the timer block there is ticking away, and the second stage, it launches the little nanite buggers. Now these guys will get inside the ship and cause absolute mayhem. So once these guys start moving around in here, they cause havoc from the inside out. So we've got a total of 2 of the nanite crazy bots inside. Looks like they've actually done some damage to each other. One of the solo ones there is going right for the reactor, and this one is going for the armor. But you can see how dangerous and how crazy a weapon system like this could, because you'd have to then send space engineers or have inner ship defenses to actually stop these guys. So that one's going all the way up into the reactor zone. And let's see what's happened to the other one. The other one's mining away up there. And you can see how the gravity's turning it in circles. So it's constantly bumping into things and causing more and more damage. And you can literally eat a ship from inside out. Now my second version of this was to blow a hole and do the same thing. So we create a massive bit of damage. You can see they're still working away. And we'll even have a go at testing it on an actual ship. So that one's come out, pretty useless. Some of them will come out and then attempt to go back in. or some of them will just come out and completely go off target. So they've caused quite a significant damage, probably more damage than a single warhead would do. Anyway, let's cut back and I'll launch the actual warhead thing. So in this final test, what I've done is I configured this little warhead. Now this could represent a rocket launcher or one of your larger cannons on the ship blowing a hole in the enemy vessel. Now, once this is launched, let's launch this away. We are actually projected into this beautiful view in Spectator, and it blows a little hole in the side. Now that hole should be the perfect size to launch our nanites in. Now since that explosion did a lot more damage than I expected, it is quite holy. But let's see if we can still get them nanites inside, because in a natural vessel there'd be a lot more in there to soak up a little bit of that damage. So first off, let's switch the lock, let's launch our missile towards the target, and there we go. Second launch, and we've got it this time stuck to a reactor. So let's have a look what the nanites do in this situation. So the timer block is now ticking away. A lot of the stuff's already damaged in here, but still we'll see the chaos that these little guys are going to cause. So yeah, if the ship was a little bit more detailed in the interior, they wouldn't be flying out of all the holes. But we're still getting a little bit of damage. That one's doing some damage to gyroscopes. This one's picking away here. So there we go. You can see the same effect, but if you get it inside the ship, you get access to more of the little nanite type droids to do even more damage. Let's do one final test against an actual ship. We're going to launch both of them at an actual ship target. So that's that missile away. You can see that projecting towards the target. And boom, we've punctured a massive hole in the enemy vessel. You can see there's all sorts of lovely craggy bits there that we'll be able to get our drones into. Now, the second thing I'm going to do is just reconfigure this sensor, because I believe I may have set it just for static grids for testing. So we need to go into here and make sure it detects large ships as well. So there we go. And now it should be able to launch. So fingers crossed everything goes well here. So launch that and launch that bit. And it is away. Here it is flying in, out the sun. Perfect. We've got to stick to the target. It's lovelily jammed in there. That gravity really allows it for some great acceleration. In any moment, it'll release the nanites. Okay, there we go. It looks like we've lost two of them. Two of them have gone off there. One of them is doing some work in that area. The other two look like they're getting a nasty bit of a grip in the inside of the ship. So there we go. That one's cutting away in that section. That one seems to maybe have got damaged and got stuck. So here we go. This is what it's all about. Even if you can just get one on the inside, you can start causing a lot of damage. So there we go. Let's see if it can get itself in any better positions. I'm a bit worried it might actually pop out the hull here, though. There we go. It's still going crazy. Let's see. Come on. Don't leave the hull just yet. Oh, damn it. Oh. So that you can see there's an element of luck with them as well. We've got all these nice craggy area. If that one would have continued functioning, it sounds like it has. But I think there might be some sort of issue with it. Let's spawn in our character nearby and just see the gravity. Everything seems to be working. It just seems to be a bit stuck. So if I perhaps go into here and see maybe the landing gears have caused an issue. That tends to be the main issue with them. So if we turn them off, maybe turn it back on, unlock. Yeah, there we go. It's actually still working. But for some reason, the landing gear decided not to disactivate on the second level. But you can see once they get inside the hull of the ship, just like that, they're going to cause a lot of issue. The only issue is once they escape, they're useless. You can only probably recall them back to the ship to be grinded down and then launched once again. Still, a very cool weapon, and we've almost got to that concept. Like I said, it's still a challenge set for you guys if you can do a similar sort of thing with drones, or there's another way of getting maybe men inside the ship. Leave it in the comments below, and I'm sure to take a look at the concept. Anyway, let's thank you guys for watching, and make sure you hit that